Hello, let's do Wordle for Friday, March 27th. Let's play. Yesterday we spun the wheel and it said to start with slant. Wow, all gray is unexpected for such common letters. The common letters that are left, I think, is just the R. Consonants, at least. So I probably want to do, it could be an ER word. I probably want to avoid doing ER for like at least one more guess. So I'm going to end in E and avoid the R. Kind of second tier, still very common letters are going to be like the P, the C, and the H. So maybe there's something I can do that involves the E, some other vowel, a C or an H. Or I could do a CH word. You know, I might be able to find a CH word that ends in E. Chime or something. That's an interesting. If I wanted to include the R, I could do crime, but I want to avoid locking in ER for as yellows for at least one more guess if it's an ER word. Chime. I don't know if I'm doing better than that. There's also chive, but I like the M better than the V in terms of commonality. There's also chide. Let's just go with my instinct, chime. All right, it's not ER, so I'm happy to use R now. If I use an R, second seems like a good spot for it, but then this I is a little bit awkward. I don't know if we can do, like, there's droid, but I don't really want to guess that. There's groin, but there's no N. Broil, no L. Yeah, it's tough with what we've got left. I could do just like an RI word, or just like an IR or something. But let's look at RI. Probably will put another vowel here, like an O. Rigor. Ooh. Double R. We could do vigor, which at least doesn't repeat a letter. Ooh, there's a V. So I should have done chive. Wow, that's a lot of yellows. My initial thought was ROVI, but that doesn't seem to have a word. I don't think there's any answer list words that end in V. So that's good information to know. If we're doing OI, it would be here. And we'd have to do VROI or something. Or V, maybe something VOI. No, R can't be at the end. ROI, no. What is that? Is it like OV or something? Ovre or if. Hold on. I got to take a step back. Where are these letters going? Like Orvit. Like orbit is a word, but obviously. So that's why I'm thinking like maybe, but no, it doesn't really look good. Maybe V is second. Maybe we do IV or OV. And then, so maybe like IVOR? Ivory. Okay. Ivory. Got it. This 242, we're approaching the max streak. I'm sure I just jinxed it, but stay tuned. Not too much longer. Couple weeks. All right. Well, ivory. That was hard to think of for some reason. Just the yellows really threw me off. We drew some kind of cool picture here. Oh, maybe it's like a yellow inchworm on green grass. All right. And it's a very gloomy day, but the inchworm doesn't care. The inchworm's just inching. All right. Let's spin the members wheel and see what we're going to start with tomorrow. We are starting with Carrot, suggested by Joe's 8700. Carrot, like the Shift 6 carrot. I'm pretty sure. All right. Let's do some analysis. The answer is ivory. And we start with slant. And we're in hard mode. So slant all gray. I was emailed the analysis for slant. So let's take a look at that. Because this bot doesn't have enough time to get a perfect answer for certain situations. And in those cases, the maintainer of this site emails me. So it says, let's see. Slant might lose on one of ont words on both hard and ultra hard modes, and one of atch only on ultra hard mode. Interesting. So in hard mode, you got to worry about the ont trap if you start with slant. There's no way to, yeah, there's no way to really avoid it. All right, so it suggests following up with price. It says price won't actually lose anything. Anyway, I did chime, completely unaware that I was in danger of losing on some things. Chime. Okay. So after chime, it says vigor is as good as bipod. So vigor was a really good follow-up from there, and then it was only ivory. After chime, we were down to 20 words, so it's great that I just thought of the right one for no real good reason. Droid would have been good, actually. Video would have been a filler that was actually really good. Okay, so after vigor, it was only ivory, and I'm not too surprised about that. So according to this analysis, price is actually the best follow-up. And from there, we've got vigor. I mean, there's only 4 answers left: ivory, rigid, rigor, or vigor. So we could get ivory in 3. Sorry, I'm not looking at the right thing. We could get ivory in 3, or we could end up with it in 4. So 3 or 4 from slant if we go price. Let's look at tails. Tails is also all gray, so we're going to go crump. And then rowdy or whir with 2 R's. That's fun. Rowdy gets ivory right away. Whir also gets ivory right away. That's really interesting. Okay, and any other tails anagram is going to have the same results. We don't have to do steel. We'll go right to adieu, the most common starting word. With just the I, we're going to go posit, and then bingo, and then ivory. Interesting. Move that O to the end. I would think to do an I-O like that. But there are 12 words left, and it says we want, well, a lot of them end in O, interestingly, so it's testing for that with bingo. That's fun. Audio. We're going to go opine from there. And then rigor, vigor, or visor. We have 8 words left, but actually the ivory is not one of the options. So we're going to go something like rigor and then get ivory. So it's guaranteed 4 with audio. So with that O-I, go opine. Interesting. And it went rigor there. That's interesting. It actually preferred rigor. Well, okay, rigor and vigor were just as good as each other because there were only 8 words left. So it just happened that they both tell you the answer. Okay, probably one of them rolls out a double R. Or just locations for R? I'm not sure. Rigor is the only one with R first, and it's the only one with double R. So I guess it just doesn't matter what that first letter is. The I-G-O-R is enough. Okay, let's look at stare. Sorry, it took me a second. With that R there, we're going to go whirl, which is a fun word. And from there, we can go fjord and then ivory. If we want to be very fun. So 3 or 4. All right. And then trace tries to get in 2. Does not today. Almost never actually gets it in 2. That doesn't mean it's doesn't. But anyway, gets into 4. Just because it's likely, the most likely to get in 2 doesn't mean it gets in 2 very often. It's hard to get into. Finally, clasp is what the official bot starts with. It's all gray. We're going to go tired from there. And then ring and then ivory. All right. That's an interesting picture. Let's look at the official bot, see how people are doing today. Is ivory, I don't know if it's trappy. I guess we'll grab the screenshot after. Give me a 95 skill. I like my guesses. I'm at average steps. All right. 20 words remaining. Okay, so from slant, people did pride, proud, price, chore, prime, group, chord, pouch, power, and chime. All right, I think several people had the, okay. Some people had the idea of let's just put E and R here, but a lot of people also tried to avoid ER. I'm not the only one who did chime, but it's rare. It liked vigor, but it would have preferred bipod by 1 tick, interestingly. And then ivory. All right. Clasp Toner Brood Ivory. That is a very different solve. Okay, we got 0.3 getting ivory in 1, 2.4, 23.3, 72.4. Wow, look at that jump. Have you ever seen a jump that big? 23.3 to 72.4 to 95.3. That's turn 5. Turn 6, we're at 99.2. So people aren't really losing. Worry, glory, story. Wow. Story as your last guess. What were your guesses before that? Anyway, let's upload. Oh, I don't have the screenshot yet, so I have to grab the screenshot first. We will do that. Saving the screenshot. It's ivory. Okay, and we will upload it. Okay, so in regular mode, how do people do? Pride, proud, price, power, chord, chime, choir, cried, crime, chore. So probably a lot of people were like, I want the R, I want the P. And then thought of stuff like pride and proud and price. I want the E, things like that. All right. Vigor gave it 97. It wanted prods. Bipod, vigor are equal in this case. All right. It goes slate, crony, ivory. Okay. 0.6. That's very high for getting in 1. That probably means some people always start with ivory. 2.2, 19.4, 59.9 is a much smaller jump. 87.6, that's way smaller in turn 5. 96.8, wow. So hard mode people did 99.2. Regular mode people did 96.8. Losing on irony, glory, mori. It just blows my mind. I guess it's just if you're turning on hard mode, you're better at the game. It's not that hard mode's easier, because it's not. It's strictly harder. Okay, cool. Well, how'd you do? And that is it for Wordle. If you would like to watch the New York Times games, you can click at the end of the video. It'll take you right there. I also have a pinned comment with all the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.